Swift DC-17 closed the show, taking us up to around 5:45. There goes the B-25, 5 on a Corsair. Has never before appeared at a British air show. Look out now to your right, everybody. Here come the Flying Bulls, the North American B-25J Mitchell and the Chance Vought F4U-4 Corsair. Superb passes by these aircraft. Even under this slight cloud cover, the natural metal, highly polished finish of the bombers of the Second World War. It was used extensively in all theatres, from the heat of the African desert to the cold of the Eastern Front. From April the 18th, 1942. Militarily, its success was limited, but one of the morale boosts was the US, just a few months after the Pearl Harbour attack. More fortunately, 69 of the 80 crew members involved survived and returned to the US. The B-25 went on to be employed throughout the war. The Pacific campaign by the US Army Air Force and the US Navy and Marine Corps, they used it as a medium bomber, the ground attack aircraft for straight ignitions and with parachute retardant bombs, and as an anti-shipping striker. In North Africa they were used by the Army Air Force, and in Europe by the RIAT, especially on and around D-Day. The Allies advanced into newly liberated Europe, so the B-25s of the 2nd Tactical Air Force Squadrons of the Royal Air Force went with them. The type served with many other customers as well. This one was built in August 1945 by North American Aviation at Fairfax in Kansas City. It didn't serve in World War II, it was used for electronics development and then as a training aircraft until it was retired and sent to the famous boneyard in Tucson, Arizona in 1958. sold to civilian customers at just $1,900 in 1959. It didn't, however, leave Davis Monthan Air Force Base and the Boneyard for another 18 years before it was again sold into private hands. Ziggy Agara, the founder of the fleet that became the Flying Bulls, but bought it in the mid-19th be flying. See, some of the turrets have been fed over and they've installed a weather radar under one of these wings in a small pod. Pearl Harbour of the Second World War, the F4U-4 Corsair. The best-winged bird is how the Corsair is nicknamed. That's because of its inverted gull-wing configuration. You see very clearly as the aircraft flies past. Aircraft carriers, while still giving them sufficient ground clearance. It produced a very distinctive aeroplane, and that propeller is massive. It's driving the famous Pratt & Whitney R2800 double Wasp engine of 2,000 horsepower. That was the biggest capacity engine of any fighter at the time. Of course, their first flying in May 1940. It went into service a couple of years later. It was the fastest US single-engine fighter of the war, exceeding 400 miles an hour. It had its troubles in the early years, but they were resolved, not least by our own fleet air arm of the Royal Navy. And it went on to make a huge contribution in the Pacific War in particular. The Corsair could outclass the Japanese Zeros and other enemy fighters. And the US Marines in particular used it not only as a fighter but also as a ground attack aircraft as they island hopped through the Pacific, liberating those island territories. Our own fleet air arm had 18 squadrons of Corsairs at each service, and they attacked the German battleship Tirpitz during sinking Operation Huntsman in 1944. Following on from RIAT Flight Lieutenant James Nicholson during the Battle of Britain, a Corsair pilot from the Royal Canadian Navy Volunteer Reserve, Lieutenant Robert Hampton Gray, became the second fighter pilot recipient of the Victoria Cross during World War II. He received the VC for continuing an attack against a Japanese destroyer on the 9th of August 1945, despite the shooting heavy fire. His bombs sank the ship, but Hampton Gray was killed. Post-war, they went on being used by the Navy and Marine Corps for some years, also by the French Air Naval in Indochina, Suez, Algeria, and Tunisia. And then in 1969, there came the so-called soccer war between El Salvador and Honduras, one of the last major actions involving piston-engine fighters. Final pass now from the F4U-4 Corsair. At 13:25, it only burned